Thank you. Okay, is Miss Tanya still with us, or did she leave?
No, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to let you go first, Tanya.
All right, thank you. Hope everyone is doing well. Had a nice wake up, I guess, to this cold morning. A lot of snow. Thankfully, it looks like the roads and stuff are looking pretty good on my end in West Oneida anyway. It is December, which is kind of hard to believe. So MAP testing has started, or will start this week, doing our phase-in schedule. Next week, I'll be attending a special ed, the TASSE conference. It's virtual this year. So we'll be doing that online, and they're going to still have our normal breakout sessions and all that stuff. It's going to be nice to hear from Chuck Cagle about all of the COVID business, to see what he has to say about that. So I'm kind of excited to hear from a lawyer, which you don't hear about that much, but I am excited to get to hear from him next week. We are trudging along with our basketball schedule. Again, that's just going to be a game by game thing. You never know if somebody gets in quarantine or whatever. And like I mentioned earlier, I had some staff members that have tested positive from over the weekend and stuff. So, and some that are going to have to quarantine. So I'm going to have to make some phone calls and stuff here in just a few moments, but everybody has been contacted. So it's not a school thing, thankfully, but hopefully those folks will continue to stay well. They're doing really good right now. And they're on the mend, I guess. I hope to say it that way. So we're just taking it day by day. Again, everything's going well. It's just hard to believe it's December. Trying to get things back to as normal as possible, but everything's going well. I hope everybody is doing well and everybody's staying safe out there.
Okay, thank you, Miss Tanya. What about Mr. Cash? Is he with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to kind of echo what Miss Tanya said. We are. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, and it was nice to have a little break. Everybody's doing an outstanding job, and just having that little break, just kind of catch your breath was great. Also, like Miss Tanya, we do have a couple staff members in quarantine. We also have one that is positive, but it's not affecting the school. We do have some students also quarantined, but it was something happened while we were off. So everybody's been contacted with that. We also are going to start MAP testing tomorrow. Excited to get that going on. And again, basketball games as we can get them. I think we have rescheduled 3. We got most of them a rescheduled date. We played Huntsville last night, and I want to commend Miss Donna and her faculty and staff for a great job that they had hosting us last night at Huntsville. And that's all I have, unless you guys have anything for me.
Okay, thank you. What about Lisa Hamilton?
Good evening. I hope everyone's doing okay. Sending out lots of prayers to everybody who's been affected by all this. We have already started our MAP testing when we were in Monday, and we will be continuing when we return. Just keep it on that schedule, trying to get everybody in. We did have 89 to 90% of the ones that were phased in that were present. So we were missing 10 to 11% of kids even that were supposed to be there that still weren't there, and they were affected by COVID. Same thing with our teachers and staff, but we're going on. We're notifying as soon as we can, making sure everybody knows what's going on and trying to help any way we can with that. So we're just trying to keep everything up and ready and rolling. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. About Donna Goodman.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I'm just going to be repeating the exact same thing that the prior principals have already said. We all kind of keep the same schedules, doing the same things. Of course, we're playing basketball. We're MAP testing. We have had a couple of students that have tested positive over the Thanksgiving break. The majority of hours that are quarantined, which really are very few, when you look at our numbers as a total, but the majority of those that are being quarantined are basically due to exposures and not, positive tests or anything like that. So we thank God for that. And we just continue to pray for everybody's safety and their health. Everybody's just doing the best that they can and continuing on, and just so proud of what everybody's doing and how they're handling all of this and the grace that they're showing with all of it, and still in there doing their jobs despite, everything that kind of seems to be going against them right now. So we're just thankful for everything so far, and enjoying the snow, and just hope that everybody continues to stay well. And that's it for Huntsville Middle School.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, how about Miss Amy Jeffers with Robbins?
Hello, everyone. We're in the same boat as all the other schools are in. We are MAP testing. We started yesterday, and our attendance is pretty good considering everything that's going on. We did have a couple of confirmed cases last week, but none of those affected school because it was while school was out. We're trying to play basketball. We've not had much luck with that. But our new motto right now is we're going to work while it's day. We're not at school often. So when we are there, we're going to work. We're going to work while we're there with who we have, with what we've got. So we're just pressing forward, and the teachers are doing a phenomenal job. I'm so proud of the faculty, staff, the janitors, the cooks. Everybody is just working their hardest. But that's what we're doing at Robbins. We're working while it's a day, so you keep us in your prayers.
Okay, thank you. How about Sharon Stanley with Winfield?
Hi, Miss Hester. When we had school yesterday, I called the 2 out-of-county schools that we were supposed to play basketball with this week and called both of them off. We have 4 coaches who are in isolation or quarantine. One of those did test positive. The others are in quarantine because of contacts they had with people. So when you have 4 coaches that are out, it's a little bit hard to play ball. Plus, we had one of the students to test positive. So it appears that, like in other times, it's just now really beginning to hit us fairly hard. We are waiting on the results of one student to see what the COVID results are with that student. If so, it will affect one grade level for us, and I should know the answer to that later on this week. Just want to say to Mr. Hall or whoever called off school today, I think that was a very wise decision. We've been hearing several ambulances today, and I hope that's not been people who have had accidents out on the roads with being bad. And I know that the weather is saying a hard freeze tonight with the low 17, and I'm worried about our little ones, particularly out in that, because we not only have the COVID threat right now, but we are also experiencing a lot of flu and strep. So, like I say, it's just beginning to hit Winfield pretty hard. But I do want to say a thank you to Keith Shannon and the maintenance people. When we've had heaters to go out, they have just jumped to the forefront on that, and they've been great about getting everything back to working order really, really quickly. With everything, my staff has had to shuffle people, schedules, bus duty, you name it, and we've shuffled it. And I want to say that I've undoubtedly got one of the best sets of personnel that exist. They have done such a phenomenal job of stepping up to take other people's places, to volunteer for things. So I'm just truly, truly thankful that, I've had a staff like that to work with during this. And that's all I have, other than, like some of the other principals said, next week we will be doing the TASI conference virtually. And I think, like Ms. Tanya said, I'm really anxious for that because especially a legal conference, I think is one of the best conferences we can have. So I'm anxious to that they're still having that, and we'll be able to at least do it virtually. That's all I have unless you have questions.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
How about Ms. Rector with Scott High?
Hi there. Can you all hear me?
Yes, I sure can.
Okay. I do have one thing for the agenda. I did send that out on email a couple of weeks ago. So you should have that. And it was a proposal to adopt a policy which would basically be titled the Do No Harm Policy for EOC grading for the fall semester. And let me explain why that's needed just for a second. As you all know, EOCs are required to count 15% of the course grade for that class that takes the EOC. What we have seen in the past, and unfortunately we've had a lot of experience with this, when things happen with testing, it always seems like that fall testing kind of goes off and without a hitch, and things go normally, and then some disaster happens in the springtime, and what happens is the legislature comes in January and they pass these policies that say do no harm, and we see that because they'll have the schools have no, they'll waive accountability for the schools and they'll waive accountability for the teachers. And sometimes they'll waive accountability for the students in the spring testing, but they always forget the fall. And so what happens is you have students who had to take a grade in the fall and then students in the spring who did not have to take a grade. Now, most of our legislators have already put out, and it's supported by the governor and the Commissioner of Education as well, have already put out that one of the first proposals that they have for the General Assembly when they convene in January is a do no harm policy for accountability for schools and teachers. However, they've left students out of that. Now, that will probably get fixed in the legislative process, but it will not get fixed soon enough to affect these students who are testing this week. So what we'd like to do is adopt a local policy that will fix that. And essentially what it does is it will allow students that if their grade on the EOC helps them, then we'll give it to them. We'll improve their grade. But if the grade on the EOC does not help their average, then it will be exempt for them. And so it just keeps them from being overly penalized and disproportionately penalized, because that's very likely to be waived in the spring. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay, thank you. And then just to give you a general update from Scott High, kind of a COVID update. We are facing a bit of a unique challenge this week with trying to give those EOCs and limit students on campus. So our schedule is a little bit different. We are only having those students who are taking EOCs on campus on the day that they're testing. And that schedule will not change for the rest of this week. So the original schedule for Scott High still holds. And I'll put that message out there with our students on their Teams accounts, but I'll make sure to spread that word more this evening that the Scott High schedule for the rest of the week stays the same. Now, we do have several staff who are out in quarantine or isolation. As a couple of the other principals said, very few who are actually positive. Most of them are contacts or household contacts. None of the positives have had any contact at school. So these are all outside of school contacts. But during EOC testing, that becomes especially challenging because you can't use substitutes to administer tests or to proctor. So that's a little challenging, but we're making the best out of it. And I'll have to, Ms. Stanley, I'll have to disagree with you on this one. I'm sure the staff at Winfield is wonderful, but I'll challenge you with Scott High because, man, I'm telling you, our faculty and staff are just awesome. They've communicated with me all through the week, checking their team's accounts. Several things changed over the break, and they came back on Monday morning and they were ready to go and flexible as ever. And just, where do you need me? Put me wherever. Great attitudes and just willing to help. And I just can't thank them enough and brag on them enough about how wonderful our faculty and staff at Scott High is. They just never cease to amaze me. Every time I think, man, this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, they show me that back's a lot stronger than sometimes we think it is. And so I'm really proud of those guys. We do have about 30 students out right now on quarantine or isolation, but again, that all comes from over the break. So we have no inside of school contacts on those. And again, very few of those are actually positive cases. Most of those are contacts or household contacts. So we are getting into that window where we have some students who are going to be out for extended periods of time with those household contacts. But again, that having those Teams accounts and having our students have already used those Teams accounts, they use them every day. It makes this transition kind of in the back and forth of quarantine a lot easier for students and teachers. So very, very thankful that we have that and that they're so practiced on it. Basketball, we did have a couple of cases on our basketball team, isolation and quarantine. And so we have paused basketball this week. There wasn't any contact, but because those positive cases are there, we already had that game with Kingston was already canceled by Roane County. So we went ahead and canceled the game for tonight as well. And then again, we'll once we get those official dates in from the health department, we will evaluate next week's basketball schedule. And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Linda Keaton, are you with us?
No, Linda will not be on here tonight. She's not
Okay.
feeling well.
Okay, how about Debbie Sexton?
Yes, I'm here, Miss Abbott.
Okay.
Hope everyone's doing well. Just to give you all an overview of what we've been doing in special ed, of course, we continue with our eligibility meetings, IEP meetings, reeval meetings, and so on. I have been working, and some of my teachers, we've been working on our file folder review monitoring, and we have to have all of that information in this Friday, and I've worked all day trying to get those documents uploaded. Still working on that December 1 report that has to be sent into the state by the 18th of this month. And like the principals have mentioned, we are going to be participating in that TASI virtual conference. I know myself and the 2 school psychologists are going to be watching that virtually, and just so glad that the principals are able to participate in that because there's just a lot of good information. And then December the 16th, we do have our detention monitoring at the detention center. And that's all I have, unless you all have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
How about Amanda Stevens with Finance?
Hi, Miss Esther. I'm here, but I don't have anything for tonight.
Okay. All right. How about Brent Shoemaker?
Not in the call.
Coordinator, is he with us?
No.
Okay. Okay. How about food service, Paulette King?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Uh-huh.
I have one thing for the agenda, and it is to renew the Hobart contract. I would like to have that on there so I can renew it. I hope someday we can use it again. Right now, at this point, I don't know how much we'll get to, since we don't get to actually use our trays and silverware that much, but I'm going to be optimistic there, but I would like for that to be on the agenda. I would just like to say that my department has been hit very hard in the last couple weeks with positive cases and quarantine cases. We're running a couple schools a little short right now, but with the phase-in schedule, that has really helped us to be able to provide the meals that we needed for Monday. And of course, today was a relief, I'm sure, for the girls. Hopefully, I do have some, I hope that you will remember in prayer, that are really sick and they need your prayers. But other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. What about Mr. Murley? Keith Murley, is he with us?
No, Mr. Murley won't be with us tonight either.
Okay. Okay, Greg Bond with technology.
Hello. I don't really have anything for the agenda. We're continuing to get the laptops for the students ready. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to best to get those to the students. With all of this, with the phase in and all this stuff coming back after Thanksgiving break, it's kind of put a kink in our plans, which is, normal for 2020. I did want to say that Mike Lay was tremendously appreciative of all of you for what you did at the last meeting, and it really, what I think what was really cool about it is it brought out all of these people that sent him messages and called him and just let him know how much of an impact he had on their life, and that couldn't have gone more well. So I appreciate you all doing that. Unfortunately, he's getting worse. He is now on hospice care, and so he's not in pain or anything, but he is struggling with, on top of all of this stuff, struggling with the after effects of COVID. And he told me last night that he hadn't been able to sleep in 2 nights because of just coughing all the time. So if you would keep him in your prayers, and that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Greg. How about Keith Shannon with CTE Director?
Yes, ma'am. It's good to see everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. As far as our office there, the maintenance seems to be going very, very well. Greg Claiborne and all of the guys in the maintenance crew are really staying busy, answering maintenance requests coming in from the schools. A lot of heaters, obviously, right now, water leaks and things like that. So those guys are working hard, and we appreciate it very, very much. I do have one item for the agenda. It will be a budget amendment to allow us to move some money in our CTE budget in order to pay for a professional development session for our CTE teachers. So we need to ask that be put on the agenda, please. We also in CTE had our advisory council meeting last Friday. It went very, very well. Really appreciative of all of our community partners and committee members for taking the time out of their day to be a part of that meeting, and also to give the CTE program the input that we need to help make it the best that it can possibly be to serve our county. So with that, I don't have anything else unless someone has a question for me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hopkins, you will be next.
Thank you. First of all, going over any items for the agenda, we would like to approve the calendar committee. Now, right now, we don't have all the names for the committee, but as soon as we get all those, we'll get you a copy of the names and should have those ready by our school board meeting next Thursday. Also, I want to accept the school's activity fund audit as prepared by the Dennis Jeffers CPA when that was done. And that's all for that I have for the agenda for the regular scheduled board meeting. Do want to say I wish everyone had a great Thanksgiving break. I know that the rest was needed. The break was well needed, and I wish we could meet in person because I think everyone, would like to see each other, but, we'll do what we have to do in order to get through. Would like to update as far as school. There will be school tomorrow. We are going to school. Mr. Bowes and myself been out checking the roads. everything's good. He's gone to all the major areas that normally are problems. He's told me that there are none and would not perceive us having school tomorrow. So we will be having school on time tomorrow. Want to thank first everyone from administration to our teachers, teacher assistants, cafeteria, maintenance, janitors, everyone's involved. Technology, board, everybody that's got a hand in helping us get through this 2020. Good thing is there's only 30 days left in it. So let's hope as we prepare for the new year that 2021 will be much better with less chaos as what has been brought by 2020. It's not been easy to navigate. It's been stressful. It's been trying. It's been everything that you could probably put down to try to get through. But with good people, when they're put in tough situations, good people strive. And our people are strived in tough situations. And I can't thank them enough for what they've done and how well they've managed to get through this. And we will, guys, we will. To up to date, as far as the number of cases we've had, now this was last update that we had was on the 27th of November. That doesn't include anything from this week. But we've had, from the beginning of the year until now, we've had 70 students that have contacted the coronavirus. Currently, we have 7 active. 70 students out of about 2,600. Don't have my calculator in front of me, probably 2.5, 2.6%, somewhere in that range. Not exactly sure, but somewhere close in there. Could be a little more, could be a little less, but it's not bad as far as that. Now, quarantines, I don't have those in front of me as far as the number of quarantines we've had, which is a little different animal. You know, household contact can cause a student to be quarantined 24 days or, and I've been in that situation, so I understand. I do know that the CDC is working on some new rules with the quarantine. I don't know when we'll get anything from our local health department or from Dr. Gail Sturdivant when that might take place. But there is some things that are coming with that. Could relieve some, won't relieve it all, but could relieve some, a few days at least, on that. We've also had 31 staff that have contacted COVID-19 since the beginning of the year, and that's teachers, that's everyone, 31 staff members. And again, this was what the numbers were given to me today, updated up till the 27th of November. Of those 31, 10 are currently active. So as you can see in the last little while, we've had more staff contact, and that doesn't count the ones who have contacted this week. So, you know, there'll be a few more that we'll have to put on the list there. My office in particular, you know, I think as Mr. Ron and I talked about 2 months ago, we felt like, you know, we hoped that no one got it, but we felt like when this thing started, it would run its course and everyone would get it. Well, pretty much right now we're in the central office, about everyone has had it or is quarantined. So, you know, and as the beginning, as I said, I want no one to get this, and we pray that no one gets it. And especially if they do get it, we hope that your symptoms are mild. Appreciate Mr. Silcox and his prayers. He talked about prayer through our community. You know, you can see our community's been hard hit by this. And, you know, I don't know if it's behind us. You know, I felt like last week we might have turned a curve a little bit with seeing the numbers of new cases as far as the ones who had recovered. You know, there was a little trend there, so we hit downward spike, but we kind of knew, I think, coming out of Thanksgiving, we would see that trend kind of reverse and go back up. If we can manage it, that would be better, you know, and that will be tough. But I think from a school perspective, I really appreciate our people for the job they're trying to do and to manage the situation. And as I said, guys, it's not easy, and there's not a good decision. I mean, because it's, you know, one hand outweighs the other. When we made the decision to continue with the basketball season, we knew we did that because we knew at any given moment that season could halt. We know we've had pauses with Robbins teams, Birchfield teams, Huntsville teams, now with Winfield teams, and I think Fairview teams. So everyone's had a pause or a halt in the season. Now, as we found out this week, Scott High School. But now this is not just a Scott County thing. Let me say this is happening at a lot of places, whether it be via quarantines or one student catch it, and what that does, one active case could have been on another team, and they find out the next day the student was active. Well, if that quarantines their entire team plus the team they played. So these are things that are going on, and hearing some rumors from the state, again rumors, but don't know what will impact from that. We hope we can continue, and we want to try to continue as long as we can. So right now, like I said, Scott High School is out. I know they're out for this week and possibly next. Some of the middle schools are getting back, so that was exciting to see. Those kids get a chance to play. Do want to welcome a new addition to our school family. Miss Amanda had her baby Abigail Stevens 2 weeks ago. So again, want to welcome her. The baby's doing great. Amanda's doing great. So we welcome a new addition to the Scott County School family, and looking forward to getting Amanda back to work soon. I'm not saying she's not been working, because she has. The day after she had the baby, she had to do a lot of requisitions and some budget amendments. So, we've kept her busy throughout. But do want to welcome Abigail to the Scott County family. And again, just a reminder, there will be school tomorrow. Again, like I said, Mr. Bowles and myself been out all the roads. As far as what Mr. Bowles told me, he checked all the, secondary roads, and he said everything is good. So we'll be on time. And guys, that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions for me.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Silcox, do you have anything?
I do not, Esther. Just keep everybody in their prayers, and I'm just thankful for whatever everyone has done in every school. I think everybody's doing the best that they possibly can with what they've got to work with.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate everybody and everything they've done.
Okay, Miss Carlene, how about you?
Nothing.
Okay, Linda Sharp.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. How about Kim?
No, not a thing. Just hope everybody stays well and healthy.
Absolutely. Lou, how about you? You don't have your mic on, Lou.
Okay, you got me now?
Got you now.
Okay, I'm proud of all the principals, teachers, staff, maintenance, cafeteria, everybody I could mention. They've just jumped in and done a great job to keep things going during this terrible time. Proud of everybody.
Absolutely. Okay, Derek, how about you?
Nothing for me. I'm just really proud of everybody and the hard work they put in during this difficult time. And it's good to hear from everybody. And hopefully we'll get back in the schools and return to some sense of normalcy and see everybody. So that's all for me.
Yeah, thank you. John Beatty.
Just as a parent, I want to thank the administration and the teachers at Huntsville Elementary and the middle school for what they're doing for my girls. I know it's a difficult situation. It's difficult for everybody, but I do appreciate the efforts that are being made.
Right. I like for everybody to remember my little family that just lost their mother, Helen Spradlin. She was a good little neighbor. So
yes, she was.
We all miss her. And with that, we can close up shop if you guys want to.
All right.
Greg, thank you so much.